Nobody likes family conflict, and the drama that surrounds the life of King David is absolutely bizarre, and it continues even on until the day that he dies. This, no doubt, is some of the repercussions of the bad decisions that David had made in his life, and though he's forgiven, at the same point, the consequences live on. This is day 135. I'm reading from 2 Samuel 13 through 15. Today's reading plays like a modern-day soap opera. Amnon, David's firstborn, falls in love with his half-sister Tamar, and it's driven by lust. It is not a love, but just a desire to get what he wants right now. Well, his cousin gives him advice that isn't just bad, it's wicked. Amnon plays and manipulates the situation, and he rapes Tamar. Lust demands immediate gratification. And this is what we see here, is that Amnon could have appealed and waited, but he got what he wanted, and then he despised her and hated her, which so often is what happens when a person is driven by lust. The consequences of gratifying lust. King David seems rather to ignore the ugly situation and just pretend it's not there. He doesn't talk about it. Tamar's life is ruined. Absalom hears of what has happened, and his hatred grows for his brother. He plots a wicked retaliation, and with murder plans, he retaliates and he strikes back. Absalom flees. David misses him and wants to make things right. David's already forgiven him in his heart, but Absalom's never repented and isn't looking to reconcile. He's wanting for David to die, actually. He's hoping that if it doesn't happen naturally, that maybe he will even plot to help it happen. No doubt he would have killed his dad for the throne, and this is what he is driven by. Joab convinces David not to touch Absalom. It looks like maybe signs of reconciliation are coming, but no, it's an evil plan to defraud King David. Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. He even uses spiritual language to manipulate and capture the nation. He maneuvers situations, taking and affecting people's opinion and emotions. Absalom slowly influences the masses. A servant comes to David and says to him, "The hearts of Israel are with Absalom." David flees Jerusalem. He vacates the throne. But it's David's response that shows the amazing faith and trust in God that he had. This is the heart of David. This is where it comes out. This is what we see. How you and I ought to respond in the difficult situations of life, even those situations that strike close to home in our own families. And here's what he does. David, quote, says, "Let God do to me as seems good to him." And then it says, "Now it happened when David had come to the top of the mountain that he worshiped God." What is your instinct when it feels like the world is turning against you? Do you run to God, or do you run and hide? Well, I think David is demonstrating an ideal pattern, a paradigm of how you and I ought to run to God, even in the midst of calamity and what seems like the world around us is falling apart.